Traditionally, when we've recommended a wheel for someone who's looking to race on the consoles, we've also suggested that you stick to the same wheel brand for the pedals and for the shifter, because unlike the PC that can accept multiple input devices, aka a bunch of different USB connections, on the consoles it can only accept one input device, aka one USB from the wheelbase itself. But let's say that you really want to run with a Thrustmaster wheelbase and Fanatec pedals on the consoles. Well, up until now, you weren't able to do this. But thanks to this little black box here, the Basherboard's CPX adapter, now you can. So we're going to get right to the point with the Basherboard's CPX adapter and just say that I think this is a really great little product. I can't find anything wrong with this. This adapter allows you to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's be able to run Thrustmaster wheelbases and Fanatec pedals on the consoles, and it does that with no drama. It's very easy to hook up. It has labels telling you how to go and connect everything up. I did that. Everything worked right from the start. It also has the ability to update the firmware if there is a new update. And actually, while I was testing this, John from Basherboards contacted me saying he had a new firmware update for the newer Fanatec pedals that I'll get to in a moment. And I was able to go, plug it into the PC, update the firmware, hooked it all back up, and it worked like a charm. Now, what that firmware was updating was it was adjusting how well the gain is tracked in the brake sensitivity on the newer Fanatec pedals, that being the Fanatec CSL Elite LC load cells. Load cell only work with this. And also the close port pedals V3. So what it does is this little tab adjustment knob right here allows you to essentially adjust the sensitivity of the brake pedal on the fly. So if you want to make it so that you have to push a little bit harder to register the brake pedal, you can go and just turn this dial and do so. There's also an ABS dial as well, which again does the same type of thing. And having those dials that you could change on the fly on the consoles was really great, because you kind of take that for granted on the PC, where you can kind of just jump right into the Fanatec control panel and adjust it. And a lot of PC sims have it where you can adjust the sensitivity of the brake right there in game. Well, there are titles on the consoles that don't have that, and then you have to jump out of where you're racing and go back into the menu and options and adjust that, where here, again, on the fly, and it worked really great after that update. So that was very cool. Now, got a little ahead of myself. Let's talk about what different wheels and pedals can be used with this adapter. It is compatible with the Thrustmaster T300, the TX, and the T500 wheel bases. It's interesting that the TMX and T150 aren't listed there. I'm not sure why, because I have to think they would all be the same components, but if you go to the website, basherboards.com, it only has those three Thrustmaster wheels. And then on the pedal front, the Fanatec close port pedals V1 through 3 are compatible, the CSR Elite, and then the aforementioned CSL Elite LC, the LC model only, with the load cell, is compatible with the adapter. So again, this thing just works. Now, there could be two potential cons when it comes to this. I don't think they're cons, but I can understand people would think they're cons. This cord that goes from the wheel base to the adapter is very short. John said he had to make it short just purely based on shipping reasons, that if it had a longer cord, it would then get heavy enough that shipping would get quite a bit more expensive than what it already is. So we went with a shorter cord. I don't mind it because it actually keeps the adapter really close to the wheel. So while you're driving, you want to make an adjustment to the dial, it's right there. You can go reach over and do that. Now, if you're looking to maybe mount this on your rig somewhere for maybe a cleaner look, maybe have these dials facing towards you, I could see where you would want a longer cord, because that wouldn't be possible with this little guy. But again, I didn't feel like it was a con. It kept it close and kind of kept it out of the way so you didn't have to see it, because once you set this, you're pretty much done, in my opinion. The other potential con is the price. The CPX adapter costs $55 in the US and $59 once it's shipped in the US. and if it's shipped overseas, it is $70. Now, if you do have the newer Fanatec CSL Elite LC pedals or the V3 close port pedals, you do need an additional adapter, which then goes and takes that as shipped price in the US from $59 to $66, and the as shipped price overseas from $70 to $78. So price-wise, this can get a little pricier, but I'm not going to call it expensive, because considering that this is a niche product that's probably only going to have so many sales because only so many people that are in this situation, and also, there's a little more than meets the eye here instead of just, changing up what connects to what. There's definitely a board in here, and then you can go and adjusting this ABS and the brake sensitivity is fantastic. There's a little bit of work put into this R&D wise. So it's not inexpensive, but I don't think it's expensive. I think it's priced about right. And another way to look at it is maybe going and picking up this adapter stops you from having to go out and buy a Thrustmaster set of pedals, or go out and buy a Fanatec wheel. Maybe it's some way to do that. I mean, hell, if you want to go and run Fanatec pedals on the PlayStation 4, you can't buy a PlayStation 4 compatible wheelbase anymore from Fanatec. So, this in a way can also save you some money and not cost as much. So that's another way to look at that. So those are potentially two cons, but I think they're getting pretty nitpicky. Overall, I just think this thing is really clever and is a real solution to a problem that many of you have. We've gotten contacted by a lot of people asking about mixing and matching wheel and pedal sets on the consoles, and for the longest time it's always been you just can't. There's a few different examples out there. Thrustmaster has an adapter if you want to run Logitech pedals with the Thrustmaster wheelbase, but there really hasn't been much. So this takes care of it and is pretty slick. So I do highly recommend this if you're looking to do this combo. I think this is money well spent. Now, before we go, I want to run two things by the Inside Sim Racing audience, and they're questions that John from Basherboard had. So he has gone and he has modded this adapter to work with a Logitech steering wheel. So he was curious if there's any interest from any of you out there of running a Logitech steering wheel with Fanatec pedals, and if there is enough interest, then he can probably go and make one of those for that. Also, he has been working on, or is looking to work on, an adapter that would allow you to use pretty much any brand shifter out there with the Thrustmaster wheelbase. So while this adapter works where you can run Fanatec with Thrustmaster wheelbase, you still have to use the Thrustmaster TH8A shifter with this wheelbase. But John is looking at making an adapter that would allow you to run any shifter with it. And he's doing that because a lot of shifters out there that are even PC based, they have a USB connection. Well, this adapter will be able to accept USB. So even if it's a PC only shifter, in theory with this new adapter, it should be able to work with the Thrustmaster wheelbase. So again, if you're interested in that, go ahead and say so in the comments below, and I'm sure John would be very interested in hearing that. But as far as the Basherboard's CPX adapter for running Thrustmaster and Fanatec together on the consoles, I think this is a really great way to go. So thank you for watching Inside Sim Racing. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and also check out our website, isrtv.com, for the latest news, reviews, and our always popular forums. Also, please check out the Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Click on the links, shop through Amazon. It doesn't cost you a thing and kicks back a little towards us. I will say thank you to those of you who have been doing that, because we have seen a difference on the monthly check from Amazon, and that really does help out, and again, doesn't cost you a thing. It's a free way to support us. So thank you for those who've taken advantage of that, and to everyone else, please do so as well. So I'm John Sable. Thank you for watching Inside Sim Racing. See you guys next time.